Here's a story of when I was 13 years old and we had witches come and visit our church.
What?
Is witchcraft real? And yes, it is. But there's nothing to be afraid of if you know the Most High and you serve Yahuwah and his son Yahusha. You're perfectly fine. You will be just fine. But the enemy would like you to think that the occult has more power than he does. But my Bible says that greater is he that is within me than he that is in this world. So here's the issue of witchcraft. And this is why I tell people all the time, I'm like, stop playing with that. Stop watching that. Stop inviting that into your home. The Bible says to touch not, taste not, and handle not. And I'll follow that to the fullest. If you need where that's found, I can get it to you. But here's a story of when I was 13 years old and we had witches come and visit our church. Yeah, you heard me. We had witches come and visit our church. And so when I was 13, we had these witches that, these two women, if you will, that decided they were going to come and visit our church. And that's perfectly fine. No problem with that. And so they came and visited. And I remember thinking like something was up with them, right? But my mom had always taught me that, like, if you are at the altar or like, you know, don't let any old body pray for you. Don't just let any old body put their hands on you. And so I was always very cautious about people praying for me. And one thing I noticed is that, like, whenever I would go up to the altar call for prayer or whatever, which isn't exactly biblical, but whatever. When I would go up for prayer, I would always feel like somebody was right behind me. And I could feel like this presence and sure enough, every time it was these women, like there was one of the women right behind me. And I remember I'll be like, you know, and I could feel her trying to put her hand on my back and I'm dipping and diving, you know, I'm like, what you doing? What you doing over there? You know, and then I just go sit down and be like, I'm good. I don't need prayer. I'm good. I don't need prayer. Like, don't touch me. But, I remember that they would always try to, like, you know, lay hands, and immediately, like, one thing you'll notice is, like, very quickly they'll try to get up in ranks and try to overthrow stuff a lot of the time. And so what I noticed is, like, these women had barely been at our church and they immediately were starting to do Bible studies. And they were even doing Bible studies at their house. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having Bible studies at your house, but these women were purposely, like, getting people outside of the church and trying to do Bible studies. And whenever they were making, you know, talking trash about the leadership in the ministry anyways. And my mom, being the prayer warrior that she was and being able to discern, she picked up in the spirit that, like, they had some witchcraft going on. So she let my pastor know or whatever, and he, you know, kind of was like, okay, but like, he didn't know because he couldn't see. And anyway, so what wound up happening is one night we had an all night prayer at the church that my mom started. So we did all night prayer. And these women, sure enough, they showed up and they wanted to do all night prayer with us. Well, I remember that I was laying on the ground, I was praying, and it was like all night. So, you know, you get really tired. So I'm laying on the ground, and as I'm laying on the ground, I can hear, like, we could hear something under the pew, and you could hear something like hissing and slithering, and we're praying, but you heard something that sounded like a snake. It sounded like a snake. But let me tell you, it was not a snake. And my mom, she was like, pray, pray. And so we started praying. Like, she got us up. She was like, pray, pray. And so we started praying, and we could hear it even more. And this woman started slithering under the pew like a snake. I kid you not, y'all. I am not playing with you. This woman was slithering like a doggone snake underneath the pew. And so anyways, there was a level of deliverance that she was not ready for, and she just ran up out of the church. And needless to say, after that night, those women never came back to the church ever again. Never heard from them ever again. Don't know what ever happened to them. Pray she got deliverance, because I believe that anybody in the occult can get deliverance, can get freedom from all that. But yeah, it was pretty intense. So when people ask me, well, why don't you want to watch Harry Potter? Why don't you watch The Witches? Why don't you like certain Disney movies? Oh, why you don't like? Because, honey, I'm not playing with no witches. I'm not inviting that into my home. I'm not opening up doors into my life that the enemy can have a footstool and run rampant with, baby. So you can have fun all you want to with the demonic doors, but baby, as for me and my house, we shall serve Yahweh.